welcome to MGP602. I'm Kev, and with me as ever, the Sheepdog, Anna and Pab. Say hello, boys and girls.
Hello, boys and girls.
Hello.
Bonjour.
Did you hear me?
Bonjour.
Yeah, we heard you very clearly. Pab's talking French because me and Anna have been to France. He knows what he's doing. We're basically Frenchmen now, me and
More
Anna.
than you know.
Were you following us again? Was that you?
What?
If I find
know
out
full
you were
well.
there,
If you find out I was there, Anna will throttle me because, like, she wants somebody to just take you off her hands for half an hour.
yes, she does. She sat next to an elephant for 40 minutes while I was off doing Kevin things.
That's quite fun.
You know where McDonald's is, where the elephants are. We walked past it many times.
For the listeners' benefit, this is at Disneyland Paris we're talking about.
Yeah, but the thing is, he said, I'll be 15 minutes.
I said I'll be at least 15 minutes.
At least 15 minutes. 40
which
minutes I was sat there.
Yeah, which falls under
minutes.
The bracket of at least 15 minutes.
That is at least 15 minutes, I
suppose.
But
it was, Kevin, it was dark.
It was when I went in.
When it was light, you came out, it was dark.
Yeah.
And I was cold.
Well, I did tell you to bring a coat.
It's too...
Who goes to France in April and doesn't take a coat?
I had a hoodie on with one of them neck thing and a scarf thing on, but it gets
Sounds
cold
like
when you
it
just
wasn't
sat
warm
down.
enough. Well, you should have come with me. We were on an adventure.
I couldn't come inside. It was too busy. It was awful.
It was
the store was nice, but it far too busy.
It's an awesome Lego store. There's lots of photo opportunities, lots of very cool Disney themed Lego stuff. We're gonna have to go again, Pabby. Let's go next week. Because it's a much better experience than that one that was in a warehouse out the back that we went in last year. That was just like a temporary setup. It was like walking around Comic-Con. It was temporary walls. But it's all very, very nice in there now. They've also got lots of other new shops. The area from when we were there that was all boarded off is now all open. So all those shops are open and they've just moved the boarded off bit further down, which means that there's rumblings on Disneyland Paris Reddit, where I do spend most of my evenings now. There were rumblings that there's going to be nowhere at Disneyland Paris to watch the Champions League final, and people are getting very stressed out about it. Apparently, the Disneyland Hotel shows football in their bar. So all those hooligans who would normally be hanging outside the sports bar when there's major football going on are all going to head to the most expensive, fanciest part of the resort and get drunk and watch Paris Saint-Germain lose to Barcelona in a few weeks' time. So, I imagine they'll all be cheering on Paris Saint-Germain as it's in Paris. That's probably the done thing. But yeah, we had a lovely old time. We did it differently. We stayed outside of the resort. We stayed in a poor person's hotel. We more than made up the difference for the money we spent on Lego. So the overall cost of the trip was roughly equivalent to a normal trip, but rather than spending it on the experience, we spent it all on Lego and basically slept on a blow-up bed in somebody's back garden. So that was nice. We couldn't figure out how to get parked at the hotel. Anna tried to get me to drive into a quarry.
What?
And
that's
you told me
such
to drive
a
into a
lie.
load of rocks.
No, I didn't. You were going to turn, and I went, no, there's rocks in the road. And you went, where? And I went, in the road. You weren't looking. And then you swerved. And I was like, there's rocks there. Where are you looking? He's like, oh, I'm looking around.
There was like 3 massive boulders. How am I supposed to see them?
They're in the road, Kevin. They were
looking at the road. I was eyeing my destination. I'm not the kind of detail-driven driver who goes around looking at where he's going. I look at where I want to be. If there's some
That's how they train these drivers, isn't it?
Yeah.
They tell you to look ahead.
Exactly. If there's an obstacle between me and my destination, that feels like it's the obstacle's fault, and it's basically asking for it. I've dropped the mic. That's it. That's all I have to say about that.
Most importantly, people are going to want to know: did you stop at the pharmacy?
There was no pharmacy.
What?
We didn't go that way.
Oh.
I mean, our hotel was right next to the massive shopping centre, so there were a multitude of shops available to us. In fact, if it wasn't for Anna's scooter, and once again, France letting us down with their lack of accessibility, But our hotel was literally right next to the train station at the big shopping centre, which is one stop away from the train station at Disney, 2 minutes away on the train. The only problem is you can't take a mobility scooter onto that train. There's no way to get it on without having a pad there to help you lift it on. There's no disabled access to the train. So, we still have to drive in every day anyway and spent £30 on parking at Disney. But we could, if they had any kind of accessibility precautions in France, we could have just walked out of our hotel, been on the train within 3 minutes and been at Disney within 2 or 3 minutes, and it's a really good location for a hotel. It was like £80 a night for this hotel. It was so cheap compared to the one we stayed at. And it was actually in a little town centre as well. So we got to the hotel on the first night at like, what would you say, Anna, about 10 p.m, 10:30 we checked in.
Yep.
After we'd done all the Disney stuff, and I just went out walking and found somewhere to buy us pizza and brought that back for our dinner. So we saved so much money on food and accommodation, but like I say, absolutely ended up breaking even because of the amount of money that we spent on Lego and jackets. I finally got my Lion King jacket that I wanted when we were there, and I'm very happy about it.
Oh, very good.
I have a Lion King jacket, and I have a duck's anus.
He's not lying.
Anna's so upset by the duck's anus, she's brought her phone right next to her microphone to celebrate it.
It sounded like it was like almost
What
like
was that?
sounding you out.
We just got a huge amount of interference. You must have moved your phone under the mic.
Oh, apologies.
Yeah. But yeah, I have. You know how you normally get the mouse ears at Disneyland? I don't know if you're familiar with mouse ears, boys and girls. But these were Donald Duck's feet and tail, so a duck's anus. And then there was dangly bits that drop down by your neck, and you squeeze the dangly bits, and it makes his feet kick up and down. So I was walking around with a duck's anus on my head, which obviously pleased me greatly.
Okay.
I was loving that. I am all for Disney doing more anus headwear. I think that's probably the way forward. But for those of you who are worried, yes, we went to It's a Small World, obviously. Yes, we went to the giraffe shop, obviously. And we went to, and we had a lovely steak as well, where Anna got very cross because the lady didn't serve us, or the man.
Oh my God. It was 40 minutes. He kept coming up and goes, I'll be with you in a minute. I don't know what he was doing, but it annoys me because then another family came in, sat practically next to us, and was served their drinks, was served their food, and we were still waiting.
Did I pay for that meal? I don't remember paying.
Yeah, you went off with that lady.
Okay.
But,
I assume I paid them.
Yeah.
Let's hope I did. I don't want the mouse to be after me for a dinner.
No, you don't want the mouse on you.
It was better than the package meal that they make you have because we didn't
was it? Okay, good.
Stupid.
Yeah, we not only was it a cheaper trip than usual, it was a more efficient one as well. We left on the Wednesday morning, got there Wednesday night, did all the Disney Village stuff then, had a day in the park on the Thursday, left the hotel at 7:20 on the Friday morning, and were back at home by 4:30 on Friday afternoon. It was a very civilized sort of 2.5 day turnaround, and we had a lovely old time, didn't we, Anna? We shall go again next week with Pab.
No, we won't.
And you're all right now.
I've been seeing a chiropractor.
Car journeys.
Yeah, I'm being fixed by a chiropractor. I had a guy try and rip my head off my body this morning. It was popping and clicking and all sorts. He fires up and down my spine with one of those guns that you kill horses with, and tries to pull off my head. And then every now and again he'll just be gently caressing me, and then he'll basically leap onto my back and try and squash my lungs. And the first time he did that, I kicked him because I didn't know what was going on. But now I'm used to it, and it just makes my back pop. But yeah, I'm not completely fixed, but I can certainly recommend chiropractors. They're quite good.
Very good.
So yeah, I am fixed. So the moral of the tale, yes, we can go to Disneyland next week, all four of us. Let's go and have a lovely time.
No.
Yeah?
No.
Soon, not yet. I can't go anywhere yet.
You haven't tried. Let's just go to Disneyland and see what happens. It'll be an experiment.
I spent most of the day in bed.
How good's French healthcare? Is it worth just getting you there and letting them have a go?
That's a shout. I went to Peterborough Hospital the other day for a scan, and I got there an hour early by mistake because I'd forgotten what the person on the phone had said. And then when I arrived and found. I mean, it took me ages to find where it was. Like I was following the sign that just said, so it wasn't an X-ray I was going for, but the sign said diagnostic, and then in brackets X-rays. And I was like, well, I want MRI, which is diagnostic. But this sign keeps being like diagnostic this way, and then in brackets the X-rays, and no mention of anything else. And it was a very long walk for me, because I've not left the house in months. And I got there and I just said to this woman, like, is this where the MRIs are? Like, I'm here for one of them. She's like, what's your name? I told her my name, and she acted like I was late, even though I'd already rang them and knew I was an hour early. She was like, oh yeah, come this way. Like, dragged me off out into this really weird windowless room that was just all white. Time didn't exist in there. Absolutely weird. Told me to get changed into a gown, and I couldn't tell whether I was supposed to have the gown open at the front or back because of the way it was. Like, normally it's the back, isn't it? But trousers with
leave both sides open.
Yeah, I was very confused. But when I came out and they wanted to put like a little cannula thing in me because they were doing dye into me, I'm just sat there thinking, this is fine. Just stick it in my arm, and I'll just sit here and wait till we told what to do. She does it, and then she's like, let's get you some water. And I'm like, oh, cheers. And then I'm sat there just sipping away. And then she's just like, do you want another water? And I'm like, yeah, all right. And it went on like this for about 10 minutes. And then she was like, when you're feeling a bit better, you can go and sit in the waiting bit. And I was like, I've been fine the whole time. I just wondered why you kept getting me water. Apparently, they just thought I was, I don't know, they just thought I looked like such a mess. They were just like, oh my God, let's get this guy some water, stat. So they took me off to some room, and I just like slept in there until they told me to come for my scan. But the whole thing made me feel like this just ridiculously broken fool. I couldn't hear a word they were saying to me about getting in and out of the machine, and I kept trying to do things on my own and thinking, oh, they told me to sit forward, and they were like, no, we literally told you to move back. And I'm like, oh, okay. I kept asking them if they'd got the picture because I was worried about moving by mistake, and they were just like, yeah, it's all fine. And I'm thinking, you don't know at all, you're just fobbing me off. But yeah, it was an ordeal, and I just it made me feel, I mean, I know I'm weird when I go out and about, but I've forgotten how broken I am about just interacting with people. I was ridiculous. It was a farce.
So, Pab, if you want to come to Disneyland with us next week, that'll be lovely. Let's go do that.
Yeah. If you're waiting a month or so, they might, do something with this. They've got pictures. I rang them to check if they've got them. They said that I should find out in the next couple of days. I'm a bit miffed because if they have to do anything with it physically, I can't fly for 2 months. I'm supposed to go to a wedding in September, and I'm kind of like, this is all. If this was a TV show, reading that piece of information is like foreshadowing the ball ache where I'm going to have to get a boat to Santander in the end of August or something. I have to go on a cruise to get to a wedding or something mental, aren't I? I don't even know if that's possible to get to Santander by boat.
Speaking as someone who can't think of many things worse than going to weddings, it sounds like you've been running a year-long con to get out of having to go to a wedding. It seems like you've become a genius without me realizing.
I'm the best man, though. I've got to go.
Again, that's why you need a really good excuse.
Yeah, no, true. Maybe the fates are sorting me out, but yeah, no, I that might be something I have to research in August, depending on how this plays out. But it does feel like it's building towards a ridiculous farce,
which is your favorite kind of farce.
Mm.
With all of those shenanigans going on, boys and girls, though, the only video game I've played this week is the Spider-Man ride in Walt Disney Studios, which I played with my eyes shut, and because my back was hurting, I also couldn't lift my arms. So Anna got a score of like 250,000, and just like when we were there, if
256,500.
there you go. If the other three people in the tram with her had done the same, we would have been that week's high score. I scored with my eyes shut and my arms not moving 6,200.
What a letdown.
So Anna was very upset with me, as were the other two people who were in there with us. I basically let us all down, but I have now learned that if I don't move or open my eyes on that ride, I don't get travel sick. So I can go on that as many times as Anna wants in the future. I do have to ride in the next tram along though next time so that she can get points.
Can't you just like squint a bit instead and actually look where you're shooting?
Well, I mean, bearing in mind how ill I've felt the last 2 times I've been on it, I don't really want to experiment. I found a way that stops me feeling sick. I don't care what score I get on the ride. So I don't really feel the need to risk doing something that might make me feel sick again. So I think I'm pretty comfortable doing it my way from now on.
Is this the one with the glasses in it?
Mm-hmm.
Yes, yeah.
Can you just take the
Yeah, that's
glasses
Kev.
off?
You're familiar with Kevin.
I mean, again, I suppose taking the glasses off is something I could experiment with if I felt like experimenting. But I may have just mentioned I now have a perfect system. No further reason to experiment.
It's clearly not, though, is
I'm
it?
good. I mean, it's perfect for me.
You could just sit.
Not for Anna,
You
though.
could just go through the line and then stay with my scooter, and I'll go on by myself. I don't know.
Yeah.
You want me to stand outside and recruit 3 nerdy people who like they're good at games to sit with you? You don't just want randoms.
I don't get if you. I just rather people be on it who enjoy it. You could just stand
Oh,
next.
I had a lovely time.
Sounds like it.
I did. I had a great time.
He was enjoying French Tom Holland.
I have to go on that stupid. It's a small world. I can't.
Do you mean the greatest ride in history?
I
You
just
are
can't.
just such a monster.
I go
with that,
on
Kev.
it, but I hate it.
Yeah, it's
It's
horrendous.
annoying.
Nobody hates Small World. It's
Everyone
I do.
hates it.
wonderful.
Like everyone on the planet hates it except you. You're
If everybody-
genuinely an alien.
If everybody hated it, why would it exist?
Because it's just there to torment people.
It's
No, it's
Disney's
wonderful.
favourite ride. That's why.
Yeah, it's a great ride.
Whose favourite ride?
Walt Disney.
There you go. Me
Yeah,
and
but
Walt
he-
Disney, big buds.
He also
Very-
liked the Nazis, Anna. I think his opinion on things was a little bit,
Well.
He also
you know
developed
what?
the 2-finger point, so people didn't realise he was holding a cigarette in photographs.
You can't
I know-
talk to him about the bad people, really, can you? He's not here to tell him that it wasn't very good.
There you go. So let's just enjoy his ride and say no more about it.
Oh, I wasn't. I was mainly saying his opinion on things was a little bit,
Only that
So-
one thing, his opinion on rides sounds
No,
spot on.
His opinion on rides is equally as terrible.
No, very wise man, apart from that one little blip that he had with his political thoughts.
But was it a little blip, was it really? It was not very good, but, you know. I have to do things I don't like with his stupid ride. So you have to come on Spider-Man.
I love how we're comparing it to liking the Nazis now. I didn't really mean when it came out. I was like not expecting this conversation to continue much longer than it did. But
I
I've
wondered
been on
where
it, like-
Anna was going when she started with, well, I have to go and it's a small world, so you have to, I have to, where are we going now?
We have to go on Spider-Man.
Yeah,
And then we
that's
saw
fine.
Iron Man.
Oh,
He-
Yeah,
Yeah.
Iron Man was swanning around next to the Quinjet. I've never seen him there before.
Pointing at people and
I yelled at a crowd of
Amazing.
people. I thought he was dead, and Anna looked at me like I'm not allowed out in public anymore.
it's only dead in that universe. Remember, there's multiple universes.
Well, this
this
one,
is
he's
French
fine.
Iron Man.
Yeah,
Exactly.
Brian Man. Oh, and of course, I forgot to mention, I did have some flunch on the way there. French
Oh, did you?
lunch at my favourite service station,
Yeah.
Flunch.
Oh,
yeah.
Did you get the AdBlue?
No, I took a picture of it and sent it to you. I
Yeah.
don't drive a diesel anymore. I have no reason to own any AdBlue. But if you haven't been to France, boys and girls, and got the excellent AdBlue bottles in France, you have not lived. They are the greatest bottles in history. It makes me want to get a diesel again because I only got to experience these bottles once, and I think our next car is going to be a diesel as a result. But no, I didn't get any.
Wow.
Wow, indeed. Yeah, that was my extensive review of all of the games that I've played this week. Over to whoever's next. I hope they've done at least as much as I have.
I mean, we could have segued from France, really, couldn't we, to the hottest game of the week?
Game of the week.
Did nobody pick up on me saying bonjour at the start? Was that not?
Oh,
I mean, that led me into France.
Yeah, that did. Yeah, I took it a direction.
I have no idea what you lot are talking about.
The one about
You will.
Clair something expedition.
Yeah, Clair
33.
Obscur. Clair Obscur Expedition 33. It was one Anna told me to get on in the WhatsApp group the other day, and Pab very much encouraged it too. And I'm glad they both did because I had seen a streamer I like getting excited about this. I should have known I would like it because I know them from watching them play Final Fantasy games and playing Chrono Trigger lately. and they were hyped about this. They were going absolutely mad for it, and I just thought, I'll check it out. I looked at the advert, and it was just like, I didn't. This is going to sound really weird. I didn't like the way the advert was cut, and I didn't like the music. It was very much like a very dramatic singing, like operatic kind of whatever. And I just thought, all right, you know, I get it. Very dramatic. Yes, lovely, whatever. Come on, get on with the actual content of the game. And then the game looked like a bizarre, chaotic mess in their cuts of it. And I was like, this is not going to work for me at all. So then when the guy suggested it, I was like, okay, I'll check it out. It's on Game Pass. And
I didn't know, Kevin. I do apologise.
What, you bought
did
it?
you get it?
Yeah, you bought it.
Oh, good.
I didn't know.
I would.
I checked.
welcome.
I couldn't find it, so I do apologise. But back to you, Sheepdog.
I checked and couldn't find it.
That's true.
But I would say, like, within seconds of like playing so it starts off, normal games, you do a bit of kind of, race me to this place so you can figure out the controls, and let's have a little fight before we do our important stuff. And I reckon 10 minutes in, I was like, yeah, sold on this. Let's go. This is good. I enjoy this. And I've played it. I don't know. I'm considering when I was trying to play Dragon Age, I ended up playing it in little stints over the course of like 2 weeks. I've already put more hours into this one in 2 days by far. And I'm not that far. I reckon Anna and Pab are probably further than me if they've played it.
I've only I've only played it for that one day because I've got other things to play. But it is enjoyable.
It's lovely, and it's. I need to check who are the actors in it, because I suggested it to a friend of mine, and he was asking me, like, is Andy Serkis in it? Is Daredevil in it? And I was like, I don't know. Like, I can't find anything. I saw that Shadowheart from Baldur's Gate is in it.
Yep. Ben Starr's in it. Clive from 16.
Who from what?
Clive from Final Fantasy 16.
Oh, right. Do you know what? There was a point. So it's not like Final Fantasy 16, but there was a point where I felt like, I was saying, oh, yeah, very dramatic, serious, all right. And it's making me feel a little bit like, God, I can't be bothered. As I got into it, I was like, okay, no, it does give me that kind of, they're just trying to be more, I can't feel the right word. It's not grown up or anything like that. It's just more straight, I suppose, that they're leaning into it. This is fantasy. We're going for it. We're, some of the other games can be a bit, I don't know, like, I can't figure it out. I'm running out of words at the moment, but this is very much, we're trying to be artistic. We're trying to be mature about it. We're trying to put the effort into be like high quality, good art, good music, good characters, that kind of thing. I do wish I could turn the lyrics off of the song that's sung in the background while you're running around, because that was doing my head in. And if I turn music to 0, it just sounds weird because there's no music at all.
You used to hear the footsteps.
Yeah, and if I turn the music to like 50, I could just hear her kind of in the background. And if I leave it on the normal setting, it's like I'm walking around and it's just like someone's just standing next to me shouting the lyrics of a song at me, and it's like, why are you here? Stop it! But obviously, it's not. That's no reflection on the woman's voice or the quality of her singing. It's just a really weird decision to have someone singing that much. I mean, I think Baldur's Gate only did that when you were in the camp. You didn't really have someone singing in your ear all the time. But no, I mean, gameplay-wise, it's cool. I feel like, Kev, you'd enjoy the fact that it's got a story mode. So you can just... Yeah. I've almost considered dipping into that. I went on the normal mode, intended play. I always feel like I should do intended play first and see what they want me to do. I am so bad at dodging on time. Like, to be fair, I'm inconsistent. Sometimes it will say like, this enemy is about to do a slow attack, and then I hit the button and it's like perfect dodge. And then other times it's like, they're going to do a slow attack, and I think, right, 1, 2, 3, go, and then I don't move, and then I'm hammering the button because I'm like, oh no, I don't know where to press it, and then I just get like 100
jumping in and out, doing the okey-dokey.
Yeah, exactly. And there was a battle against one of the characters before, like in the prelude, and they absolutely I beat them the first time, but I think the second time you could fight them, they annihilated me because I just did not know. I could not get the dodges right. It was ridiculous. I'm a bit kind of. I'm hoping there wasn't an achievement because it was like 3 shops, and they all wanted you to spend 1 token, and you only had 1 token. But then I got a token from somebody else, and then I thought, well, this is the only place that I haven't succeeded, and I imagine she would have given me a token if I'd done it. And I thought I probably accidentally left this area without getting the achievement for buying the costume from the other shop or whatever because I bought a key and a spell, which I'm hoping are
You not
useful.
buy a haircut?
No, that's the bit I missed. The haircut.
I got the haircut and I went, no, we can't do this. We can't do top knot. We're not doing top knot.
I know, I turned that off too.
I was like,
That's
I was like,
hilarious.
okay, very good. You did it. You put him in a top knot, and I went, we're not doing top knot. I'm sorry, it just doesn't seem right.
Did that benefit in any way? Because the
No, it's just a
Okay.
steak.
And did you get all three?
I think so, yeah.
Did you get an achievement for getting all three? Because that's the bit.
I
that-
doubt
I think
it.
so.
Okay, cool. I'll take that then. But I was a bit like, I paid for the magic spell. They were like, this spell doesn't work yet. I'm like, oh, okay, that was annoying. And then the frigging key, I was like, okay, well, I'm going to forget. I'm either going to forget about them, or with the key especially, I'm going to spend the entire game wondering what the hell that key's for.
I'm sure
And-
it will come.
It will, but I bet
Yeah,
it
I
won't
thought
live up to
that. Yeah, you're
expectation. It's going to be burnt in the back of my mind. Basically, this game now isn't about an expedition for me at all. It's about wandering through the world, France, trying to find what this key's for, and I'm never going to be able to rest until I figure it out. So obviously they're French, and in the build-up, they showed the Eiffel Tower, Arc de Triomphe, and all of that. So, are we wandering through France in this story, or
Yes.
yeah?
No.
Okay.
No?
do you mean?
Well,
It looks very French to me.
no. The part I feel like yes and no, because something's gone on at a certain point in time, which is like cut,
67 years ago.
Yeah.
like
Do you
blown
know-
up, like France or something like that, and it's like, but it's teleported him into like some sort of weird, like Annihilation style paint, like weird space time sort of thing. It's weird.
I would say so there was a point in that the bit I'm talking about where you get the tokens and that, where a guy challenges you to fact off, and if you're like me and you're an idiot,
Oh yeah,
you
I got
did
it
that-
wrong.
well, no, I didn't get it wrong, but I did it before I knew the facts. So
Oh.
the idea is you're supposed to walk around and talk to everyone, and they're like, oh, 67 years we've been doing this stupid nonsense and all of this, and then you go
It
and talk to
doesn't
him at the
matter.
end, and he's like, when did this all start? So when he
It doesn't matter though.
well, no, it does. 'cause
And,
it's a
no, as in
token.
like, yeah, but you will get the token regardless, because they'll just go,
Oh, okay.
no, be serious, and you keep like giving you another chance to get
he's
it
like,
right.
you silly goose. I
Yeah.
get, yeah, like, so I got it right all 3 times. I didn't know that. I was just like, oh yeah, it was 67 years ago the paint just arrived and all of this, and I thought, oh well, it shows that the start was good enough that I'd gleaned a lot of that information. Like I only went with 67 because I figured it probably added up to 100 and that kind of thing. But yeah, the plot is that 67 years before this paintress turns up, writes 100 on the. Do you know what confused me here? Writes 100 on this big monolith thing. Everyone aged 100 died, I
Yeah,
guess.
I think so.
Like they must have gone a solid 20 years before they realized anyone was dying from that. Like
No,
they'd have been there watching that happen, going, "What the hell is this giant woman doing, painting a number?" And then Granny just like dies, and they're like, "Oh well, it was
well, she
pretty
doesn't
stressful."
just die, though, does she? Because
Well,
she
okay,
kind of like
Granny
Thanos.
bursts
She
into
gets
dust.
She gets snapped.
She bursts into dust and petals,
Petals.
and you're like, "Bloody hell, was that related? Was that connected?" And if she was exactly 100 years old, and then the next oldest person in the village was 90, that was a decade of their lives where they were like, "Oh, it didn't happen since. What the hell was that?" Granny just like burst into dust out of nowhere, and then suddenly when they get to like 75, all the 75-year-olds go, and they're like, "Oh God, it must be their age. We had 20 years to prepare for this and we didn't do it. Sacre bleu."
No, because they don't. That's not the case, because they said that the first expedition goes out at 0, wasn't it? The expedition, the first one goes out at 0.
That was their complaint. Is the first expedition was called Expedition 0, but the number
went
counts
out at 100.
backwards.
Yeah. So
Now-
so they went out on 100 then. So the expedition 0 is expedition 100 effectively.
Yeah,
if
that
they're
was the
counting down.
point the guy made.
So they knew something was up, because they wouldn't have gone out for 20 years otherwise.
So I'm guessing, obviously we must find out during the game, but I'm guessing like when it arrived, there was probably a bit of a a crazy firing paint everywhere explosion thing, and that probably killed more people than the number on the wall did. But the 34-year-olds died in the expedition at the start, and now it's 33-year-olds. So there'll become a point where the oldest people in France and wherever else this is affecting will be like 5-year-olds trying to figure out what on earth is going on if they don't, you know what I mean? And
yeah, it's an odd
which is
one.
mad. But as I say, I'm adamant. I mean, if this happened where I live now, I don't know how many 100-year-olds there would be. I don't know how many people would take it seriously for a while. I feel like I need to know how many 100-year-olds there were in France at that point. But it must have taken them years to figure that out. But yeah, the whole point of the game is that, and I also wondered why did they see this happen, see her appear right 100, Granny pops into dust, and then they go, right, let's get Expedition Zero together, let's go, let's figure this out. And it's fascinating to me that it became a 67-year tradition that they would go, right, you know, you're the 99-year-olds, off you go. You're the 98-year-olds, off you go. I imagine it probably, well, I don't know, I was gonna say it would have been a necessity. If you're like 90 and you've just seen all the 100 to 91-year-olds burst into dust, you might think, you know, I will go out and see if I can figure this out a year early. But it's interesting that they've failed 67 times and they're still having a crack at it, you know? Like
they're building toward to get the next expedition closer is what I'm gathering. It feels like they are just chipping away trying to get to the Paintress.
I do like that. There was a point where I was going to say monkey bars, but it's not monkey bars. It's just like if they pulled themselves up a wall and someone was like, oh, you know, this would have been laid out by Expedition, whatever, 91. They were the climbing expedition. They were sent to, and you're like, okay, that's cool. I like that. And it is cool just wandering around on the other side of the water, thinking about it, right? You start at a port and you go off on a boat and you arrive on the other side. They're in England, aren't they? I'm suddenly thinking they must be, right? They've just rowed across the channel. They've done like a reverse Dunkirk, and
no, because it seems that France has been broken into pieces because they're still in their village, and then as you go over, because you're like in a protection bubble over where you've been sent, you've got like these special orbs or I don't know, something that keeps you protected, but you are an island.
Oh yeah, I think that is just a matter of them finding that people who are in a specific type of dome weren't hurt, something like that, and they've built a dome they're living in. I don't necessarily, I didn't get the impression that France was like fractured into different bubbles of reality, but maybe it is.
No, I thought it was like that.
Yeah. I mean,
weird.
It'll become clearer as we go where we are and what we're doing. But I was like, where if I'm walking in France, I was kind of like, if I'm going north, I'm going to be in Belgium soon. If I'm going west, yeah, that's right, it'll be England. You know, and I was just wondering. I was like, because it started near Paris. You know, it's just I'm taking, as you can probably tell, I've thought about some of this stuff far too much, which shows how much I'm getting into it. You know, like all these things are popping into my head while I'm going. I'm just intrigued. It's come at a good time because obviously I've been a bit bored laying around playing on my phone and that. But it's good.
Let's go over the actual how the game plays then, because like it's a turn-based RPG, where you have a team of. I've got 3. No,
I've got 3.
I think I've got 3.
No.
Starts with 1. Don't you basically
then you become 2.
Yeah, you're a team. You go over to where you gotta go, where this expedition takes place, where the priestess is, and you gotta go and confront her in one way or another. And you go. There is a big battle, and well, not a battle, but you get there, and this old man shows up, but they shouldn't be an old man because everyone who is 33 dies. You just die, and it resets through at 33. Or I think that's what happens. But I'm not
everyone
quite
over
sure.
that age is dust, and so there being an old man there was like, what?
Yeah, and he kind of looks at you. You talk to him, and then all these like nasties came over and beat you to death. And then you just start as what's his name? Who's Mysterio from Spider-Man? What's his name? What's his real name?
Jake Gyllenhaal.
Yep, Jake Gyllenhaal. That's who he
No.
is. That's who he is
No.
to me. That's who he looks like.
I was
Robert
gonna say-
Pattinson.
No, to me, he's
It's Robert Pattinson every day of the week.
what,
Patterson is the vibe
He
I was
is
getting.
just-
It's
different
not
people
Robert
see
Pattinson.
diff-
Teamy Robert
I-
Pattinson.
I
Mm.
see him as Jake Gyllenhaal to me. But that's just my opinion. And yeah, you're just on your own. And excuse me, I've got things going on. And yeah, you start off with him, and you're just going through this wilderness, I will say, and then you find your next person and whatnot. But you've got to, I forget what they're called, like the enemies.
The
but
Nevrons?
yeah,
Yeah, I like that, the Nevrons, because
Nevrons.
my cat's name is Neville, and now I'm just like, Nevron.
These demons.
Love it.
Yeah, so you gotta kill these things, but they are weird looking. Like the one that attacked you at the start was like big hands and like as their body, and then they opened their hands and then they like did things at you. It was very creepy. So it's trying to
Like
be
a creepy mime.
yeah, it's trying to be like a Japanese RPG, but now we're doing it in France, like we're doing it in Europe. So which is good.
Did you come across the mime?
Possibly
An actual mime?
No,
No,
I
I haven't seen that yet. I was going to
Okay,
say,
no, they're dotted around everywhere. I feel like they're like the bonus enemies that
okay.
you find. They're like the secret enemies. I feel like, because I've met. Well, this is the most French the game has got so far. You find a mime.
Yeah.
And he has a black and white stripy jumper on and a beret, I think. This mime, he's almost like a caricature, like marionette doll. Like he's got a huge head, and he's like a smallish body, and he's like a cartoon character. But you beat him. He's hard to beat. I will say that he's not easy to beat for how early on in the game you find him.
No, I haven't found him.
But you find him, and you get an outfit called Baguette.
Fair
And it is a stripy black and white shirt with a baguette on your back, and you have a red beret and black sunglasses. And I really wanted to wear it. But it just doesn't fit. It's a fun outfit to probably wear end game when you're showboating.
Yeah.
Sort of thing. It just doesn't fit the scenery at the minute. It doesn't fit the scene. So I just went back to no, but it is a very good one.
This
If you can find
explains
that's great.
why it asks you if you want to have costumes in cutscenes, I guess.
Oh, really?
Because you can turn that
There you
off. You
go.
can make it so it just shows you realistic characters in the cutscenes. But it also says it's fun to just have nonsense in them. It's like, I guess it would take it out
Yeah.
of it.
Yeah.
When you said about Jake Gyllenhaal and all of that, it made me suddenly think I should check IMDb for the cast. And Andy Serkis is the voice of Renoir, and then Charlie Cox from Daredevil is Gustav. And
Is he?
Yep, and Jennifer English, who is Shadowheart in Baldur's Gate, is Melee, whatever her name is. Miel. I recognise the name Ben Starr, and I'm not sure where from.
Ben
and
Starr's Clair from 16.
Oh, right. And that's why then. Kirsty Ryder, I don't recognise that name, but Luna is Kirsty. So yeah, it's got decent people in it. And a friend of mine was also saying he'd heard that it's being greenlit to be made into a film already as well, which is promising. It must be.
It's a good premise, to be fair. So it should be interesting. But anyway, I was going on about the combat and stuff and how the actual game, the gameplay sort of thing. So you run around like the semi-open world sort of thing, and you run into enemies, and then it transforms into a turn-based combat. A la somewhat like, what's it like? Little bit Persona, I get at times.
It is, and it gives you that list of what moves are coming up.
It's very stylistic, like Persona for that, yeah.
Me being me, I immediately thought of Pokemon Legends Arceus because it shows which Pokemon's going to have which move, but obviously it's better than that because it's more like a JRPG. But yeah, it's like you can see down the list that you and your character have got to go, and then they're going to have 2 goes, and you're going to have to go. But obviously later on in the game, it'll be you have a choice of using your gun, don't you, to shoot them, and they've got like little weak spots on them, so you can dramatically weaken them up front by shooting them. But then you've also got your main moves that you do, and you're trying to. Every time you attack, just normally you build up AP, which you can use to do bigger magic moves or powerful moves.
Yeah.
So you can just attack to build that up, or you can spend that early on shooting them with your gun and whatever. I panicked because I used the healing stuff before I got on the boat in that battle against this little sister, is it? And I was like, I've already used up the bloody stuff it gave me. But that refills when you heal. I didn't realize that when you go to the flags, it refills.
So, yes. So this is where there's like a Dark Souls element to this sort of thing, where you're right. There are expedition flags around the open world, and you rest at them. You refill your health. You refill your potions or whatever it is flasks. So you don't have potions like you would in like I've been playing Final Fantasy and what have you. You collect potions at the world. You just have a set number of these flasks, and you rest and you refill them up. And I assume at some point you'll be able to get more going forward.
Yeah, you can. I mean, there's moves for healing as well, isn't there? Like you can unlock.
Exactly. You can use. There are moves for healing, but there are these potions that you can use in game.
Yeah, you get your one revive, one team, one.
Exactly. But there are the other similarity to Dark Souls is the dodge mechanic and the parry mechanic, in the sense of like you have to be watching the tells and watching these enemies swings and stuff like that to be able to dodge out the way. The dodge window is much bigger than the parry window. So like when it's an enemy's turn and they go for an attack at you, you can, if you time it right, you can dodge out of the way of it and just take no damage. Like Sheepdog said, you can quite easily. If you go up against a new enemy, you don't know how they're going to attack. You can be quite easily jumping back, waiting for an attack, and you can be doing it 3 or 4 times before they even swung, because you just don't know when they're going to start swinging. But then if you get a parry off, there's like I said, a window for parry is a smaller window. You do a lot of damage to them. You can get a parry off. Like for me, it's like I come up against an enemy, I dodge, and I watch the enemy until I go, okay, I know what he's going to do here, and I go for a parry, and then probably 4 times out of 10 I might get it. I'm not good at it.
I think that's probably better than my ratio for dodges, so I might just start going for parries and see if I can get like 2 or 3.
I think the best way to do it is to initially, like especially enemies that you don't know, is to just sit back and dodge, because it's just safer, because some enemies will mess you up. I went up against an enemy, and I think I've only died. I'm playing in story mode, by the way, because I've got too many games to be playing. I put it on story mode, and I went and I've died, I think, 2 or 3 times on an enemy, an optional enemy, incredibly hard. But I got stomped.
Is this the one where there's a mechanic in the game where you can walk up behind enemies and surprise attack them, and you can kind of trigger that if you just get there before they've really registered you're there.
You can do that by facing them.
But yeah, I've been trying to get that right.
Just hit them,
and then
before.
I'm walking along, and they're like, this one looks a bit bigger than the others. And I just sort of bundled up to it and tried to trigger the surprise attack. And then, which I got, but then when it attacked me, it decimated me. And that's the only time I've got game over. Yeah. And so the next time when I reloaded it, I was like, can I just walk around it? And I went around the back of it, and I was just looking around at there was nothing actually there. And then I realized I'd gone the wrong way anyway, and that wasn't relevant at all. And it was entirely optional. And I was like, the one time I've remembered to sneak up on it, I didn't need to bloody do it. But
I don't know Sheepdog, but it
sounds like the same one.
I don't know if it was, but like you can, as long as you get a hit off on them before you go into like the combat phase, you'll have first strike. So you don't have to sneak up on anything really. I just run up to things and just give them a smack sort of thing.
Okay, interesting.
So you don't have to sneak on anyone. You'll get first strike on that. But the enemy that I can't remember what the enemy was. It might have even been another mime. I can't remember. But they are incredibly difficult. And like I say, it was like I was kind of like out of body experience, because I didn't know what had happened before I'd realised Robert Pattinson's down. And I'm like, wait, what? So then I'm instantly like, my second party member is then having to revive, so using their points, so they're not attacking the guy. Then the third one goes down. I'm like, I'm literally fighting with one person and just keeps self-reviving each of the other two, like every other turn. And it was, like I say, it took me 2 or 3 goals to do it, and I did eventually do it, and I got a weapon, I think, from it, so it was worth it. But what was I going to say? What do we think then so far?
Yeah, I'll definitely play it. I'll play it.
Yeah, I'm
too
enjoying
many,
it.
There's too many things to play at the moment, which I'm not complaining about. Like, we've got summer coming up,
Yes.
so I can give it more time though. But yeah, I didn't know it was coming out of Game Pass, so I've got it on PlayStation 4, and yeah, it works perfectly. I'm also on story mode because I just don't have the patience.
Do you mean PS5 there? Sorry, or just?
Oh yeah, PS5. Sorry, I've got so many PlayStation things going on in my brain at the moment.
I wanted to ask you because I don't know. Are you on PS5, Pab?
I'm on PC.
PC. I'm kind of obviously my Xbox is only an S, so I imagine I'm playing it on a massively lower quality. I've not had any problems. There's one point at the very beginning where they're chatting and their hair was just doing weird things, and I thought you probably would have wanted to put a hat on them if that's what the hair was going to look like on an S. Do you know what I mean? Just like this is the first 5 minutes.
If you didn't read at the start of it, it will say that if there's a game quirks, it's fine because that's fun. So they know it's going to have weird things.
Oh, yeah, no, I thought that was more costume related, but I get you, yeah. No, so it's not me complaining either because I'm like the last person who cares about how our game looks in terms of graphics. But there's been a few times where I've thought, I didn't know it was on PS5 either, to be honest. I thought to myself, God, I bet this does look good on a powerful machine. And then I was weighing up, like, maybe I should get it on Game Pass on my computer. But then I was like, I don't really want to sit at my PC. I am going to play it. I'm loving it. And I'm going to play it on my sofa. And I'll just, to be honest, if I feel like I'm missing out on how graphically amazing it looks, I'll just play a 4K video on YouTube and look at it afterwards, I guess, and see what things look like. You know what I mean? It's not that big of a deal. It looks pretty. And if you get the choice up front and it ain't going to bother you on where you're sitting and all of that, then yeah, obviously go for the pretty option. But no, I like it. I'm vibing with it really well at the moment. And I do wonder because I feel bad about this because of how hard I found getting into Dragon Age. I don't think it was the game's fault. I think it was just me. And I don't know. I was saying to someone, I don't know why this has clicked and that didn't, because for all intents and purposes, it's not that different. It's not
because
that far
it takes
apart.
you back to your childhood. This is
In
exactly
France.
Well, yeah, but this is exactly what we played.
You're right. You're right.
7 and 8 and
you're
9.
Right.
Yeah.
I heard somebody on Twitter, I think, today saying this game will be what Final Fantasy VII was to us as a generation, sort of thing. This will be what kids are playing. Kids are playing this now, and we'll talk about this like you speak about Final Fantasy VII. Is what they're saying.
I hope so. I was showing it. So it's quite. You say that. It's very ironic that you say that. Actually, I was playing it, and Ollie came home from school. He's like, "What's this?" And I was like, "Oh, it's Clair, Obscur, Expedition 33." And he goes, "Never heard of it." And I was like, "Really? I would have thought it would be like all the hype of just this is the big game that's come out this week and it's a massive deal." And he was like, "Maybe to old people like you, we kids are talking about other stuff." And I was like, "Yeah, I suppose." But I said, keep an ear out for it because it is a big deal at the moment. And he was like, he gave me some comment about like, nah, whatever. But I might say to him, sit and play this. You'll enjoy it. I mean, I think it is an 18 to be fair, because that's the one thing that stopped me playing it more than I would have wanted to, is that when the kids get home, I sort of wind up and turn it off if I'm not already asleep and that. And yeah, I haven't seen anything in there that makes me think it needs to be an 18 other than people bursting into dust and stuff, which maybe they just count as.
There's a few swears. I've heard,
I suppose, good
especially
point,
French swears.
Yeah, I was gonna say like the shout. That was the thing when Ollie came in. To be fair, all he came into was a woman shouting "murd" over and over again, and so he was probably like, "What the hell?" But yeah, no, I think you're right. I do think this is the sort of thing. I'd love it when an IP comes out and it really does just capture people and It feels like this should. I know they're all a bit scared of bringing out new things, aren't they, and stuff like that. But when they do put stuff into it, it feels like it does. It does. It shows why it's worth it.
And this game is it's effectively a budget title. I think like the RRP is like 40 quid. It's not a huge game. The saying completion is like between 30 and 40 hours.
Yeah, that sold me. I think
So
when
I'm
you
like,
when
I'm
you come
in.
to get on it,
Yeah.
30 hours. I was like, right, I'm in. I'll have it done by the end of the week.
It's made by a team of around 30 people.
Apparently, that's not true. I saw earlier.
That's really. That's what I've read.
Yeah.
Did I read that, or I don't know? I read that somewhere maybe. And I was like, that's still a small team.
It was still a small team, but it was like it. I think they probably. Hang on. No, it wasn't made by 30 people. It was made by 500 people. Oh, hang on. No, it's just. Let me just double check that. I didn't want to be spoiled, but it says it wasn't made by just 30. But I think they were kind of saying if it was made by 500, it would still be impressive. But let you talk while I check.
Yeah. I imagine it might be like just the core team is 30, and it's been like they've had outside help from other teams, maybe, or whatever it is. Maybe that's how it is. But yeah, don't be right now. This is up there for best game of the year for me so far. I would say I've said that a few times in recent weeks. I mean, we're in end of April now. This will be up there for many lists of game of the year, and I think there's a good chance it might make our list. I initially came into this thinking, Kev, you need to play this.
I imagine this is the game that I'll play sat in the woods in December while we're getting ready for that episode.
Maybe, but I just don't know. I'm thinking this is so Persona coated, and then I think half the things that this does that makes it think for Persona is all the battle stuff and what have you, and that's not what you're interested in. Persona, you like all the teenage drama.
I love a teenage drama.
Exactly, and it's not. Yeah. It's not really that, even though there is a teenager in it.
So apparently this article that threw that out there, it's just some guy trying to be contrary, I think, because he's gone, everyone keeps saying it's made by 30 people, but I counted 34. And then there was 8 people in Korea that helped with the animation, and the music was done by 30 people alone. Yeah, it's like, oh, okay, mate. So what you're saying is they hired an orchestra and they farmed out some of the thing, but the company is 30 people. Like, stop being but what it also reminded me to check is I wanted to know what gommage meant, and apparently it means exfoliating.
Not what you thought of it, which was
Wurzel Gummidge.
Wurzel Gummidge.
That's the French word. I was like, it's either Wurzel Gummidge or it's fromage. They're the words that kept coming to mind for me. I just burst into cheese or something. But apparently you could buy cream that gives you a radiance enhancing gommage. It will, there's a cream by Katana Skincare that gives you a mild enzymatic formula free with no grains or beads in it gommage. So apparently, Anna, you've been gommaging for years.
See, I don't know what anything you've just said, so I've kind of just zoned out.
It's literally the word they say all the time. Do you not ever find that when you're playing something and it's just one word, they just... I get why they repeatedly said it. It's the moment in this world where a person bursts into dust, but they must have said the word gommage about 1,000 times in that opening hour. And I kept thinking... Did you not? I mean, that's one of my... I can't handle when people keep saying the same thing. It feels like it just goes into my head and I'm like, why do you keep repeating this word? Like, I got it the first time, why'd you keep repeating it? But yeah, I did wonder when I was saying it, because I just thought to myself, you didn't seem to even acknowledge there was a word, if that makes sense, in the text I said, and it's like, okay, but apparently so the paintress turns up and exfoliates everyone is what they're saying. from which is weird from a French perspective.
She just makes them do a Thanos. So I was like, oh, okay, bye then. I was like, I'd be already dead long ago now if it happened to me. Like
7 years ain't that long.
I would have been dead for 7 years already.
I mean, Kev would have been dead for 10. And I'd have only been dead for 6, and Pab 6 as well.
We seem to be forgetting that I'm 27.
He's going on the expedition next year.
I
I did say to Anna, like, they should be describing this game as a utopia where you don't have to bother past the age of 33. Like, you just get to, oh, my time's up. Is it? Oh, the paintress is here. Is she? Right, let's go. Exfoliate me. Let's go. I am wondering whether it is paint or whether she's just got she's just trying to make her own skincare product, and she's trapped a load of test subjects in, and she's just like, right, here's batch 0, batch 0, throws it at them. They all just melt. And 67 batches later, the lady at the start they were talking to, she didn't get melted straight away. Everyone else is melting, and they're having a little like dramatic pause. I'm thinking, this is bizarre. Why is she not burst yet? But yeah, maybe by batch 20, they'll all just get a real glow going, and they'll live really long, and it'll have all been worth it.
Yeah.
Anyway,
But it's
very good game. Very good game.
Play it. I feel like we've riffed a bit too much there. What was I going to say? Other than that, yeah, it's been quite. You said there's lots of games out for you guys.
Wait.
Go on.
You're not gonna bring up the thing that you've made?
That was I was like, there's something I need to talk about, and I couldn't remember what it was. And so thanks, Pab, because that you may have heard the pause in my voice there. I was very much like, what was it I wanted to talk about? And then I pivoted to you. My game came out over the weekend after the last episode. If you were on our podcast link and it just said Sheepdog's game can be found here, colon, and then nothing, that was because Pab left me a little gap to put it in, and then we had a delay of launching it because I didn't know that when you make a bundle on itch, you have to get everyone to approve it before they are in it, and that was a faff. But the game went on itch, and the launch has been really cool for a game that obviously we're not known for making games. It's not something that we had an audience queued up for. It's not like I had a kind of marketing team behind it or anything like that. We've literally had to rely on Blue Sky and all of that, and it's had a decent run of downloads and plays. It's doing pretty well. With the have you? What did you think of it?
I got stuck. I played for about 20 minutes, half an hour, and I really got stuck. And I was like, I'm not messaging Sheepdog. I don't want to be going, Sheepdog, help me.
What level were you on? Because Ollie played it and said I got stuck.
I don't know. I don't know. There was a little round fella, and a lady character, and there was a blue wall somewhere, and it's like I ride the prism light thing, like glide along it, and then they just hit the wall, and I don't know where I'm going to go from this, and it's like it's obvious something I'm not doing right, but I just couldn't fathom it out.
So I might need to add this in as a better guide along the way. When you are on the prisms, the light fella, do you know what? I've drawn a blank on how to pronounce his name, and I'd be like, Simkin. That's it. I was like, my brains just went then. Simkin.
Yes, that's right.
When he's on the beams and you press F, it changes the color of it. So if you make the beam green, it will go through the walls. So that was level 4.
I only made them blue.
Yeah, so if you make them blue, it moves stuff. So you can put a box on it that moves it around. But if you press it again, it cycles through the colours.
I'm going to have to have another look at this then.
Yeah. So I'll talk to the people and update that because that is good feedback. But the idea is, you're a character, Kimber, who's on a trial, and you got to solve the puzzles as part of the trial. You meet Simkin, who is your light familiar kind of guide. They guide you through the puzzles. The whole idea is he can change the color of the beams to match what ability you need to get through them. So the one that you got stuck on was that you need to change the beam green, and it will go through the wall. You'll see the light will suddenly start going through the wall if you change it to green, whereas it just hits it beforehand. I feel like maybe we didn't, in hindsight, then make that clear enough in the dialogue along the way. And we probably need to have it kind of pop up when someone's standing on that bit. We probably need to be saying press, F to change the beam to be green or whatever. Because, even when I was playing it, there was a point where we were making it and someone said, can you help us play test levels 5 and 6? And I fired them up and I was like, I've got no freaking clue what I'm doing on this bit. This is driving me nuts. I feel a bit ill. There was actually a point where I was testing it and then I had to turn my computer off and go and sleep for like 6 hours because I was so motion sick from getting confused. I get that in all games, and I got that in Expedition 33. I couldn't find the route and I was running around in circles and I started to get ill. And I feel like I think it's like an overload feedback thing that happens. That's why I can't really do VR games. And yeah, when they told me what I was supposed to do, I was like, oh, okay. And I was like, okay, we'll make sure. So I made sure that was explained in the game itself. But I guess I never realized this bit needed that. And that's not me saying, oh, Pab, you shouldn't. It needs to be put in there. And it's been really cool just thinking about that kind of thing and making sure different bits are involved. And people who've completed it have said they really like the story, which is obviously great from my perspective because I wrote the story. Obviously, the art's getting a lot of good feedback. I feel like gameplay wise, we have got most of there's no fundamental bugs or breakages in there anymore and that kind of thing. We finished it. It was good and solid. We are just finding those bits where we've not quite signposted what to do enough. But yeah, feedback's been lovely. And the charity that we're doing the bundle for. So I don't know. I think I put a link to the game on the podcast, which I didn't want to be like, but we have put a charity bundle on there, and that seems to be doing pretty well, which is cool. We're at just under 400 at the moment raised from it. And yeah, it's just been exciting. We're actually, because we enjoyed making it so much, we are going back to, in 2023, we started making a game for a game jam then, but the last 2 weeks of that jam were a nightmare. Like things were just like, everyone had life drama going on. It was ridiculous. It was like such a ridiculous time. And it was like right before Ollie broke his leg as well. So I felt like I had a slight thing and then Ollie broke his leg and then everything was just, so anyway, we never finished it. And we were so excited by this one. We're like, let's go back and finish that game and make it a proper game. And then I've got another game idea I've really wanted to make. So we're slowly stepping into this routine now of, okay, yeah, we'll start writing them and doing the art and the programs will program it and all that stuff. And I'm like, cool. This is basically going to, I'm hoping we'll get to MGP episode 1000 and I'll be this guy who owns a game studio and telling you about our 7th game or whatever, But yeah, it's been fun. It's been cool. And I think we're going to tighten this up and try and put them on more platforms as they get better and that kind of thing. But it's on itch at the moment and the link will be in there if you can put it in again this week, Pabby. And
yes,
people can
it will be in there this week. I have it. I have played it. So I will get the link.
Cool.
It will be in the description. Anyway, anything else going on? Anna, you said you've been playing other games.
I have played. I played some oh my god.
Yep, Expedition 33.
Oh my god, I can't move my mouth. Oh my god. That's
the one. Yep.
I can't. Yeah, so I've been playing that. So for people who haven't played it, I just got out of the sea area. Not gonna say anymore.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah. The
sea area.
The Little Mermaid land.
Yes, it is beautiful though. But I just got out of there. One thing I did want to mention is so it is like you go into areas that are certain set pieces, and then when you finish, like you go to like a main map. So like the Final Fantasy, you
like
could
an open world hub. Yeah. It's like a big like an open map. Yeah.
See, like you're big, and you just walk around. It's very like recently not Final Fantasy, Borderlands Tiny Tina kind of had that vibe going. So you can see yourself on the map.
Yeah.
You can go anywhere really. That is open. Basically, there is areas you cannot go at the moment. I made a very bad decision because I came out and went left, found a cave, and I thought, oh, okay. I thought that's where I was supposed to go because they said north, so I went up.
Yeah.
That's just what happens in my brain, and I went in there, and all of my people died with one shots.
Yeah.
So I came out of there and I was like, where am I supposed to go? Then I obviously found like you're supposed to look for the corals. So I found the corals. I did that area and I've just come out that area. So that's where I was.
One thing I'll say about that, Anna, is that area, there is a map.
Okay.
The one thing I'm not a massive fan of in this game is when you go into like the actual levels per se, you don't have a map at that point. And
Okay.
I find myself getting lost at times because some of these areas are quite big, and some there's a lot of pathways that kind of just loop around on themselves, so you end up back in the same place you started on.
Yeah, but that's just to get treasure.
Oh, it is, yeah. But then a lot of times I don't know which way I'm going, so I end up back in the same place. I go,
Okay.
I don't know where. Is this a new place? Is this an old place? I don't know. And I'm like, did I do this? And like, I just let me have the map that is there the entire time when you're on the overworld. There's the overworld. There is a map, and it shows you like which way you need to be going and stuff. I was like, great, that's fine.
Okay.
That's fine. But I've also learned something. TikTok has helped me here.
Mm-hmm.
It might have been a YouTube short. I don't know. There are lanterns sometimes in like the sky above you.
Okay.
The lanterns are pointing you to critical path.
Okay, fair enough.
I was like, that is so much helpful because I've seen these lanterns every now and then and go,
What
what
are
are they doing? And then
I know what you mean. Yeah.
They're like little lanterns that are just kind of floating in the air.
Yep.
And they are pointing you to critical path. So basically, if you want to go and find the stuff that that is not main path, go the opposite way to where the lanterns are going.
Yeah.
And you'll find a lot of cool stuff.
Yeah. Because that's
Anyway,
what I
carry
do. Obviously, I have to find everything.
Yes.
Oh god, what is that? So I've been doing that, and then on the 25th, so 5 days ago, the remaster of Days Gone came out.
Oh yes, it did.
Yeah, I still own my PS4 version. So basically, you pop that into your. For me, it's PS5. You pop that in PS5. On the store, it will recognise that you have the disc, and it will take the £44 away and put £10, so you can upgrade for £10, which I did. And I've just been going around in the world. Obviously, I have played this a few times. I've never finished it, but on my PS, so obviously when you put the PS4 in, it'll tell you like how many hours you've put into it. And apparently, I've put 35 hours into this game, which is quite a lot.
Not nothing.
No. So like, I got to so basically like how there's camps in the world, and I literally got to the third camp the last time I played this. So first there's Copeland's. He's got a little motor. That's where you go and get your motorbike back, Copeland's. And then there's this brutal woman who's very horrible. That
a brutal woman.
She is brutal. She not tortures, but she's like a slave driver. She's awful. So that's like the second one, and then the third camp are like quite nice and just want to get on and help each other out. So that's on the PS4. That's how I got to that version. So again, obviously the game, you can transfer your PS4 save over. I didn't because I'm me. I like to start again because I forget things so much. I don't know what
Fair
I'm
enough.
doing.
It's been a while.
Yeah, it's been because it came out like 2019, so it's been a good 6 years. So yeah, I'm just playing it. It looks fine. Like I'm playing it again. I know like some of the tricks. So what, like the first Nero station you have to go to, I know that before you start the generator, you shoot the I don't know what the horn things, because if you if you put the petrol in the generator and start it, the alarm goes off, and then like horn things stop blaring, and obviously you have to go and shoot them down while you've got zombies like running at you. So I know that now, and I did that. I shot the things, started the generator, silence. I was like, yes, silence for me. They do have a few like helpful things. So if there's like 2 items on a bench, you just press square and he will pick them both up. You don't have to go square and then move slightly to the side and press square again. It will just pick up everything that's in that that vicinity, which is nice because obviously that used to do my head in. He will now pick up the ears from the zombies automatically. You don't have to think about doing that anymore, which is good because that's how you gain trust in camps, and you also get money for killing them. And each zombie is like the others, like the more difficult ones you get more trust and more money for. So you can do that. You can kill animals and collect plants, and that will also get you trust and stuff. And yeah, you just go around doing your thing on your motorbike and learning about your wife. Because basically, like the start, it always bugs me because it doesn't give you a lot. It just basically says, this is your wife. She got on a helicopter. The guy said, this is where we are. She goes off, and now you haven't seen her for 2 years. And it's basically, that is it. It doesn't give you a lot to go on. And basically, you go through their story as you go through the game. So doing that. But at the moment, I just got caught by some people because they put like a, what would I say? They put like a bike, like a trap, and I followed it and got not sniped, but snapped up by my leg. I forget what snared. I got snared, so they caught me. But that is part of the game. I've played this multiple times, so I know. But I'm on my way to the graveyard, which is basically where the game starts. And so you got to go back up there and finish what you started up there, because as you were up there was a horde. You don't want to mess with the horde, because I've never really encountered one. Well, I did encounter one when I very first started this game, and it scared the life out of me. So I put it away for a bit. I was like, I cannot deal with that. That's not fun. But obviously, this game's come out. There is a story mode. I clicked story mode immediately because I don't want to deal with that. But they can still overwhelm you. I've died about 4 times in the factory. So do their nest in the daytime. Do not do them at the night time. They will eat you. But yeah, you're just, I forget his name, Boozer, and I don't know. Boozer and his friend, they are motorbike people, and he is looking for his wife, can't find her. They plan to go north, but then the freakers take Boozer out, burn him to a crisp, and so obviously he's not in no fit state to go out. And then your bike gets stolen, so you have to go and find a new bike, and then you have to upgrade it. So obviously you have to get money and do jobs and go around this world. And that is one. It's zombies, but they run at you. They're not the funnest of zombies. Like, obviously you get some slow ones. These aren't slow. They see you, they will follow you a lot. And the wolves in this are awful wolves. Don't trust them.
I have a question for you.
Yeah.
What PS5 wise, is it? It's good. It's fine on the PS5.
Yeah, it's fun. It's got 2 preferences. You can have it at 4K 30 and 1440 at 60, whatever that means. But I play it on. I play it in that mode. It just looks a little bit better.
Yes, that's not bad.
I don't need 4K. I turned that off in. What did I turn it off in? I was playing something and I just turned the 4K off. I was like, I don't. Oh, in Assassin's Creed, I just turned it off. I was like, I don't need it. It doesn't look very well, so I turned it off. I don't think my TV likes brightness. I don't know what it is about the TV, but it doesn't connect right. But yeah, I just turned off 4K. I don't need that anymore. My eyes are getting old anyway. I just need to put my brightness. Yeah,
frame rate all the way.
Yeah, my eyes can't cope anymore. I'm getting old. I'm 40 this week, so yeah, I feel a bit old. We had this when I was 30. I was like, my knees are gonna drop, my elbows are gonna drop. I'm just gonna have all this bad stuff. So yeah, now
Do you
40.
mean your knees are going to drop on your? What does drop mean?
Yeah, I'm gonna look at my elbows, and the skin from the top of my arm is gonna droop down over my elbows, so you won't be able to see them. And my knees, like when your leg is straight, my thighs are just gonna droop down over my kneecaps, so you can't see kneecaps anymore. I have it
You
in my. I don't know.
understand? I'm 42, and neither of those things have happened to me.
But you're a man. I just have these things. It's fine. I'm looking at what else have I played. What is that?
I've been busy, Anna. You've been very busy.
I can't see
You're
it.
not still talking about games. How long did you talk about that obscure one for?
43 minutes, I think, or 48.
I tell you what, my new ergonomic chair, it's helped my back loads. It is terror on the testicles when I sit down for more than 40 minutes. You lot are killing me.
What?
Crack on.
He's got one of these chairs where he sits on his knees and there's no back to it, but
I'm basically sitting on my balls.
Well, you stand up for a few minutes.
it's got a kneeling chair.
Because I know if I stand up, you lot are going to address me in some way, and I'm going to be the other side of the room, and I'm not going to be able to answer.
Just stand in front of the mic. What are you on about?
You've
I'm
got
like
a standing
sitting
desk.
level.
Yeah, you got a
Oh,
standing
don't
desk.
get me started on the standing desk. I think I need a new leg. I've put
Oh,
in a
for
ticket
goodness
with Fully. I put it up the other day to stand, and then when I put it down, only one side went down. I had to hammer
my
it to get the other
goodness.
side to go
Oh
down.
my god.
I thought my computer was going to slide off.
Goodness me. You need you need
Wow.
Matt to come down.
Yeah.
You need an
Oh,
adult.
what happened with Matt, Kevin? Just no.
I'm not gonna out him.
No, never mind. We'll tell you off air. It's nothing thingy.
Yeah.
But yeah, I can't see what my other game is on the floor. So I can't talk about it. But
Well, that's all right. We'll
yeah.
get to it next week.
Just so I did Disney. That was great. It killed me. And yeah, just them 2 games. I would have got the 33 thing on Xbox, but I went on the app and I couldn't see it on there, so that's why I have it on the PlayStation. But I guess it's good that one's on PlayStation, one's on Xbox, and one's on PC, so it works out in a
There you
way.
go.
But I would have played it on the Xbox because obviously I now have the upgraded version because I couldn't deal with the awfulness. But yeah, I just need to pick one, settle in, and just finish it because I'm doing that thing where I am flitting around games, and I this is my year of finishing games, so I have to say no, pick one and stick with it. I think I need to go back to Shadows because I think that's the most I have played.
No,
but
don't.
No.
As in, yes, do at some point, but just know for a fact that you're in that for 80 hours minimum.
Yeah, that's true.
Look
Maybe
at Expedition 33, and 30 hours is in this day and age doable. That's the thing for me is that I'm looking at that going, I'm going to laser. I've dropped Assassin's Creed because I was like, I can't do another castle. I can't do another castle sitting in a bush watching guys for 20 minutes. I'm not doing this again.
Yeah.
I need something different, and Expedition 33 is the one for me at the minute. So
yeah. So I'm glad that we both told Sheepdog to have a proper look
I am.
because he is annoying. When I'm like, have a look at these good. I know you're gonna like it because as soon as we got to like the open map, I was like, right. That as soon as that happened, I was like, Sheepdog, you need to play this because like I know you're gonna like it. Like as soon as it got to the open world, I was like, yeah, here we go. Sheepdog, here is a game. Here is our childhood. Go and play it, please, or find it just somehow. But that is me, I think. Just looking over there. Yes, that is me. So over to Pabby.
I'm Expedition 33. That's it. Unless you want to talk me about me getting all sweaty
No!
on Rivals, I think Sheepdog's got anything. No.
No. I other than making the game and playing this other one, I'm all good.
Good. Kev,
We don't need a recap. Let's get me out of this chair. If you want to pester us on the internet, you can do that at Mgukpodcast. You can follow me at Lelujo.
You can find me at Sheepdog6K.
I miss Lelujo.
And I'm at Pab 1986.
And this is the sound I make getting off the chair after being sat on my testicles for all this time. Brace yourself, boys and girls, and we will see you next week.
Have a good week.
You just got out.
Bye-bye.
Thanks for listening, folks.
You're welcome, Pappy.